All right, welcome back to the channel. Just gonna be covering just a quick outlook going into Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. So let's just kind of take it back to the 4 hour. So we had kind of this dump in the PM session. So I kind of annotated, just kind of orientate you to the chart here. This is Sunday, 6 o'clock, Monday, midnight, and then Tuesday, midnight. So looking back at this candle, the 2 o'clock PM session, we stabbed down into an optimal trade entry on this larger price swing here. And whenever I use the OTE, I like to use the bodies of the candles, especially on the 4 hour. Well, actually got us a little deeper than that, right? Stab past it, almost down to the 0.79, and then look at the reaction back in price. And we also traded into hourly fair value gap, a 4 hour fair value gap. We took some liquidity from Friday's PM session, and look how we closed above it, right? So that's always a good sign, getting it moved back in this direction. If we kind of look at this entire segment of price action from all the way over here to the left, all the way to current where we are, right? This 4 hour kind of fractals are building in higher time frame swing low. So we have this low over here, right? This is part of it, and this is an SMT with NQ, and this is coming from the daily, and I'll jump to that in a minute. So this is one, right? So swing low consists of a low, a lower low, and a higher low, right? And so as we can kind of pinpoint these with little annotations, we can start to see how we'll use these. This is a swing low here. It's a swing point there. And then potentially, if tomorrow goes well, and it kind of moves in line with the higher time frame. And then mind you, again, comparison to the last video, this is a daily breaker that we're also traded up into. So these swing lows here on the daily time frame, when we look at them, we'll start to pinpoint, and signify the buy side of the curve may be taking place there. And also, this move here was taking internal range liquidity. So now we're going to look to seek external range liquidity, right? So the draw, even off this breaker on the 4 hour here, so we have that low, high to a lower low. I don't use the max wick, just be super precise. I use the most reasonable one, just to kind of leave a little room for error. And we see how it starts to line up with this higher time frame, right? So this is the high of that daily breaker, right? We see that matches up pretty well. So this is going to be an easy low-hanging fruit target they're going to look to kind of take out tomorrow going into the week. And then again, we still have the swing projection here, right? So we zoom out a little bit, right? The 1.5, where we'll see some reaccumulation, right? Which may be like a little kind of sideways action, then another stop run to move higher, right? That's not too far off. That's 7 points from the max 4 standard deviations off of this price swing. So starting to line up here, and kind of just had to be patient today, and just, I took a trade, lost like $79, like a point or some, it was moving, but then it ended up moving, and then I got out before during this 10 o'clock candle, and it just wasn't moving my direction, and I kind of just stayed out and just kind of just learning how to kind of let things play out without me, and not just be in such a rush to take a trade. So it was a minor loss, nothing that really harmed the account, and we can kind of move forward and just and now with the insight, and the thing I kind of like to say is that losses are just kind of premium paid for further insight. So I kind of want to pay as little as possible. Or not say low as possible, but low as necessary, right? If I have a stop on that's 5 points, it takes my stop out. that's what it is. It cost me 5 points, for some future insight. So kind of putting that in perspective for myself lately has definitely helped me prevent overtrading, um, you know, being in such a hurry to get it back, allowing that insight to kind of take place. And now I have a more clear headspace. I didn't overtrade today. I didn't force trade. So my mental capital's free. I feel better looking at the chart and breaking it down and kind of looking at it from a perspective that I just didn't take trauma or cause myself trauma in the markets, and that I need to make it back, right? That I need this some play the workout, right? Only being down like 1.5 on the week to start off. Very manageable, drawdown to, have a positive week here for the rest of the week. So let's just go to NQ really quick. And I kind of just want to show a little bit of the difference here, right? So we had, kind of zooming out, right? This is the SMT. Oh, let me show the daily here on ES. Might look a little jumbled, but because I have my lower time frame annotations. But you can see, right, once you kind of get it in perspective here, right, the slow back here, that's a swing point. So now we can kind of adjust that to this low, right? This is that swing low forming, right, on the higher time frame. So we should start to see prices move higher and give us a buy side delivery. And again, so if we go back even further, if we're talking about internal range liquidity and external range liquidity, right? If we're going from, say, this price swing to this high, or we can do this high, say this candle didn't form yet, Thursday, May 23rd. We can put a projection on that, and if we can do it, either way, if you want to do it with the wicks, I'm sorry, let's do this one, this candle, because this day didn't form yet, right? So we see that even on a daily fractal, this Thursday's price action came down to equilibrium of this entire price swing, right? So when we traded down into here, that could, for Friday, gave us a bullish outlook that we just came into discount, stabbed through it, closed above it, look for longs, probably paired with TGIF setup there. So then we have today, closed up higher, selling. Then we'll see how tomorrow plays out, if there's anything that changes or anything with the news, but so far just anticipating higher time frame draw on 5368. You can call it 5367, but I think tomorrow, Wednesday the 29th, we could probably see that objective taken out with relative ease. Let's just size that back up. So now jumping to NQ, very similar setup here. The leader, right, currently going forward in price, the SMT, and we can see that how Tuesday was a stronger close, right? More of a stronger close, more oomph in the price action. Again, we are above the Sunday open, so going forward, we should see longs the rest of the week, or at least on my perspective, I'm going to align my trades with the higher time frame direction. I'm not necessarily good at getting the contrarian like scalps. I trade off the 15 minutes, so it's not really applicable for me, for my style. Just anything below 5 minutes, even sometimes the 5-minute chart just really gets me all over the place. So I try to keep it on the 15, make it very clean, get in line with the higher time frame direction, and go from there. So with the draw, again, what we talked about before, today's price action stabbed into the equilibrium from this low from last Thursday up to Tuesday's high. Took out some liquidity from Sunday and Friday. trade into a 4-hour fair value gap. Look at the response and price. Right, got up above. So if we get above this green area, which would be a breaker because we have this low, high, lower low, get above there, and we should, with our swing projections, 19K is on the board. Of course, again, this is the daily swing projection that we have. Right, we have a mitigation. We didn't necessarily get back to the mitigation. This is a new day opening gap right here, right? So we went drawed into it. These gaps can be the classic support and resistance for price action, and where we can kind of see strong reactions. Sometimes we just kind of, most traders may just count it once it's been traded through. That's it. But if you're trading ICT concepts, you kind of want to keep these in mind. This is where you can kind of see low of the weeks form, which I think on the indices we did see low of the week. And, we're going to move higher and expand higher. So we have the accumulation. Monday's price action, obviously it was a bank holiday, so there's not much going on. Traded up, a little more accumulation, dumped, and then we stabbed out. Ran these stops. Anyone who was long now has been stopped out and paired to institutions longs. And anyone who wanted to trade short at the break of this or at the stab below this, now they're being dragged under. So let's just look at the dollar index really quick and see. So going back just a little bit from this swing high, and I kind of like to, so everyone can kind of see them. This high to this low. Last week we traded up into the 0.6162 optimal trade entry level, and then we kind of sold off. And Monday, Tuesday had a lower day. Anticipating Wednesday to sell, moving in alignment with the indices moving higher. And we could probably drop down to the 4-hour, maybe see if we can find something here. There's some liquidity here, resting above. So we have, this is again back over premium, either into the premium range of this price swing on the daily. So we could easily come up here, stab up here, take some of this liquidity, and then we can move lower. And there's some in news tomorrow, so we'll definitely see what it has. But I do think the draw, since we did move again, this move last week was the move internally to internal range liquidity, right? So if you're bearish, right, there's that initial downward price swing, then that retracement higher back inside of it, internal range liquidity, and then we should see sell side of the curve take place. So let's see. Right, so we should see some more follow through, and the draw again. Referring back to my video from this weekend, 103.88 is something that I'm looking at to see taken out. Let's see. Let's just go to crypto for giggles. Let's jump to the weekly. So I think I had this charted out a little while before this. This is a low resistant liquidity run. We had a run on stops right here, traded down to a higher time frame PD array. Look at the respect on it on a monthly fair value gap. The bodies of the candles on the week respected it, and then you see that move higher. Now coming to look on the daily. Again, not the cleanest price action, so I don't day trade crypto, but I like to average in long term on Ethereum. Very bullish on it. A objective I have is 4,900. Right now, I'm trading at about 38.50 per se. So we have this low, high, stabs at low, So this would make this a daily breaker. And the breaker swing point for me is one of my favorite setups to find. Once you can see it, they're very high probability setups, and they're very clean. They deliver nicely, and they move pretty well, and they're, again, pretty high odds. So look how the buys of the candles respected it. The midpoint of that breaker, once it traded through, stabbed down, very clean, opened up above it. And again, Wednesday, I think we should move higher. Along with this higher time frame breaker right here on the week, right? We're just on the daily. We're starting to see some of the levels combine, right? So this 2 to 2.5 retracement reversal zone right here, right, pairs up with the 3 to 3.5 on the higher time frame swing projection. So we can definitely see 4,400 to 4,600 on the cards. I think we're going to blow through 4,100, no problem. And then we can at least expect 4,900 to be taken out. And then we have this all-time highs back here for November of 2021. And then max 4 standard deviations could be all the way up to 5,200 plus, almost 5,100. I'm sorry, 5,300. But yeah, again, if you guys ever just want a good community to come learn, to come trade some concepts there, just to really grow and get better, I'll pin the link to my Discord in the description, along with my Instagram and Twitter. Again, good luck, good trading, and until next time.